welcome back to our podcast, Books Don't Review Themselves. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Kim. Today we are going to review the movie Ma, which came out on May 31st of 2019. May 31st was also my mother's birthday, so that's a very good day. I'll read the synopsis and then we'll get into the movie. A lonely woman befriends a group of teenagers and decides to let them party at her house. Just when the kids think their luck couldn't get any better, things start happening that make them question the intention of their host. Octavia Spencer is the leading lady in here, and as we were discussing before, she is awesome.
Yes.
Loved her in The Help, and in this movie, she is excellent too. Juliette Lewis is also in here. She used to annoy me when I was younger and watching her stuff, but I like her nowadays. So.
Yeah, I do enjoy her.
So what'd you think?
I'd give it like a 3.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Like, it's probably not something I would rewatch. Glad I didn't see it in theaters. Because it is creepy. Don't get me wrong. Like, there is a lot of creepiness to it. But that's all I felt that it really delivered. Was like, ooh, ugh. Yeah. You know, like.
And for me, the creep factor a lot of times was like a cringy creep. Like,
yes.
Ooh, you know, a 40-year-old woman hanging out with 16-year-olds and letting them party in her basement, and ew. But what's even more disturbing is I know parents who did stuff like that. You know, they wanted to be their kids' friends, and they're like, oh, we'd rather have you drink here than, you know, drink elsewhere and drive home. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You don't want your kids drinking and driving. So if they are going to go party, you know, to me, in my mind, be like, you can call me no matter what. I may not be the happiest person, but I will not yell at you and, you know, so on and so forth. But don't encourage them to drink in your house. I mean, to me, that's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, so let's say a kid does drink in your house and they end up getting alcohol poisoning or setting your house on fire or something, right. You know, what? No, dear God. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old and...
No, I agree. That was not something that my parents allowed me to do. And I really didn't go out drinking. Again, I like having control of my bodily.
Jessica will never do drugs. So, yeah. We know this.
I thought Octavia did an excellent job. Like, she was like the perfect person for like that creepy role, and she did it so well. And I would have to imagine for her it was a really fun
something
role to
different.
Play. But like what Kim said about the cringe, it's so true, because there was like, it incorporated like Snapchat and stuff into it, and like her Snapchat videos, like, guys, where are you? Like, it's just like ooh,
no,
like
yeah.
Or yeah. So,
and then later on in the movie, like when the children are no longer staying at her house for various reasons, because they're realizing she's a little bit crazy, at least most of them are, you know, and then she goes on that big long, she starts like texting them, like blowing up their phones. And then she finally gets some of the suckers to come meet her at the rock pile. And she's like, I have cancer. And that's why I've just been all crazy and out of my mind. And I'm just like, oh my God, no, you're just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But with this movie too, it's like, to me, there wasn't any surprises. You knew what was happening. You know, there wasn't like any mystery to it. Like right away, they give you foreshadowing that she was bullied as a kid, you know, in high school. Yeah. And then it's pretty obvious really quickly too that some of these kids' parents were the ones who were bullying her, you know, and making her have a traumatic teenage years. So it didn't have that mystery to it either for me. And I'm just like,
I didn't really consider it horror either.
I wouldn't even say like psychological thriller.
Not really. Because I mean, it wasn't like for most of the movie, the things that she did wasn't crazy. Yeah. I mean, it was weird, but it wasn't like psychological.
She wasn't like tormenting them.
Yes,
you know?
Like the end result was psychological, and that what she had been doing up to that point was psychological to try to like play with their mind, whatever. They didn't know they were being fucked with. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, oh, come to my house, drink, I'll buy you alcohol, and that's like the back and forth of the movie, and then it just kind of starts getting weird.
Yeah.
I think of something like Silence of the Lambs, where it's like I could watch that
And you could find new things every time.
And like that's something I would watch several times. This is not something I would watch several times. Like where Silence of the Lambs, that whole time it's like deciphering Hannibal Lecter and all this stuff, and like what is he implying, what is he thinking, this and that. Like this does not have any of that.
The only thing, it wasn't even thrilling, it was more disturbing once again, was her daughter, who was in a wheelchair at the beginning, and then that part I was a little surprised at, when later on you find out it was her, but
it was like a Gypsy Rose situation
where the mom is keeping her sick and the daughter's really not sick. And it was just a fucked up movie. But part of me, like I said before, I know parents who had not done this, but who had let kids, go party in their basement or their garage or whatever. And while we were watching the movie, we were watching it with Spiros and Josh, and I said to Spiros, I'm like, I could totally see your mom doing that, like letting kids party in her house. So yeah, just ew, don't do that. If you're that parent and you think that's cool, just please stop. Don't.
Yeah, she was just, it was weird. It was a weird movie.
Or if you are that parent who does that, like, let us know in the comments. Like, seriously, what is your reasoning behind it? I mean, maybe there is something that you do that we don't see.
Well, and I know like a lot of parents will say it's like, so I take all their keys, so I know they're not going to go out and whatever, and it's not a big deal. And I get that, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what's the message that you're sending? And like, I know a lot of parents will probably say like, oh, well, look they just went and did it anyway. And it's like, yeah, but
you shouldn't be encouraging, in my mind, to do that. And with alcohol being a legal substance for 21 and older, your teenager isn't developed yet to be introducing this poison. I drink. So, but for me to be saying this, to be introducing this poison, because alcohol does have poisonous effects to the body, to a teenage body and mind that isn't fully developed yet. To me, I don't think that's a good thing to do.
Right.
I mean, I guess
it'd be one thing for me, in my opinion, like certain occasions, like, oh, like you can have a glass of wine.
And people are going to bring that up. They're going to be like, well, kids drink in other countries, they have a glass of wine. That's true. They do. And it's also a different culture. And here, I mean, especially in Wisconsin, you see the things on Facebook or whatever all the time. Wisconsin has like the 12 drunkest cities in the entire United States. I mean, so maybe I'm just biased in a different way, seeing, since I do see so much drinking culture, that I don't encourage it on children. I don't know.
I guess it just, at the end of the day, in my opinion, like if I had a child and like 16, or something, and we're like having a glass of wine, with dinner or something like that, is not such a big deal. But to encourage a full-on party and come here and like
beer bongs,
you guys can get drunk and have fun, and I'm gonna take all your keys, and like it makes me think of Mean Girls, when Regina is like fooling around with her boyfriend and the mom walks in and she has like these like virgin martinis, and she's like, I'm not like the other moms, I'm a cool mom, right, Regina? And she's like, oh, you guys are so fun. And they're like rolling around in bed, and I'm just like,
no,
God, like cringy. Yes, that's something I definitely agree with, where it's like, it's weird.
And once again, just getting back to the alcohol in other countries, it's like,
it's not as forbidden.
It's not. And since it's not forbidden, most people, not everyone, but, drink more responsibly. Whereas since it's forbidden here, you drink it all really fast, And
I know in some, I don't know which countries, like I don't know if it's like European, I want to say, where it's like they can go to nightclubs and stuff at like 16, which, and I think they can drink at those venues. I would have to double check that, but I thought I have heard that, and that would be fun. But again, that's a little scary too, because it's like, but at the same time, I guess I don't know how those are regulated or whatever.
Do they cut them off after 2 drinks? I don't know.
Right.
And then too, I mean, just looking at myself, when I didn't drink in high school, we had parties and stuff, and go out into the woods, but I was not a party person. I was not a drinker, and then I went to college. I really didn't drink until I turned 21. Then it was a shit show for like 3 years. And then after that, I'm like, whatever,
See, I never really had any of those moments. Like, I didn't really drink in high school. There was like one time that I recall, and I was 18, beyond like maybe having a glass of wine or something, or like my parents letting me have a glass of wine. College, I did not really either. A little bit when I like turned 21, but that was because I turned 21. And even now, like, I'm not a big drinker.
I'll pour her a glass of wine, and then there's like half a glass left when she leaves. I'm like, God damn it, Jessica.
And the thing is it's like, I feel like I really have to be in the mood. But the other thing with drinking is, like, I get really tired.
Yeah.
I get really, really sleepy. So, like,
if we're watching a movie, and you fall asleep anyway, adding wine to it is not a good
like,
combo.
the one party I remember going to, like, I remember, like, getting really tired, and I laid on the couch, and, like, I woke up, everybody was sleeping.
That was like in Ma. There's that one girl who kept sleeping on the couch.
That was me.
That was you.
I was that girl. And it's just, like, I don't see the appeal of just pounding shit to get drunk. You know what I mean? Like, if we go and we're going to different wineries, and it happens.
And we get drunk.
That's different to me than going to, like, a frat party and doing, like, a fucking beer keg, which I have never done.
I've never done a beer keg. I've never done.
Or, like, I personally really enjoy, like, whiskeys and different bourbons and that kind of stuff, and, like, trying different things. And I do like craft beers, and going to, like, a craft beer tasting, like, doing something like that where I'm going to drink a little more is fine. But I'm just not someone that's like, I think I'm just going to get fucked up and drink, like, a 30-pack of beer. Like,
oh, dear God, I would die.
Like, just that that kind of stuff is not appealing to me. And it's like, I like to drink because I'm going to enjoy what I'm drinking. So, like, having
or pair it with food.
Yes. So, like, that's how I view it more, which I think is more European.
Exactly. Not drinking just to get fucking bombed. The other thing, too, is addictive personalities, And
I know I have one, and I think that's why I'm very careful
with it.
I know alcoholism has run on my dad's side of the family. I don't think anything on my mom's side. And it was more like my grandpa was clean and not. But again, I don't know that it was it's hard to say, because back in those days, like, was it considered like alcoholism? I don't know how, I just don't know how bad it was. I just feel like it was more common, like, every night the guy came home and had, like, 2 drinks, or, you know what I mean?
That's still a common thing today for many people. Which,
I don't know.
I mean, you just sit outside a Quick Trip and you will see, like, the same people buying, like, a 30-pack, like, every day or every other day. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool.
So I think there was some, like, addictive personalities, and I'm a Libra, and I've been told that's a thing with Libras. And so knowing that, I am careful with things, because I know that when I like something, I like it a lot, or if I don't like it, I just, like, don't like it. Like, there's not a lot of middle ground for me. I mean, food even. I have found, like, sweets, like, that is, like...
That's addictive.
It's like crack to me. And there have been studies that, like, certain parts of your brain that, like, are triggered with, like, cocaine, I think, light up with sugar.
And same with cheese.
Yes, like, cheese. Love cheese. But it's like, cheese, how bad is that going to fuck me up,
It
depending.
Can. Yeah, because, I mean, your body...
Like, I'm not eating bricks of cheese. Like, I'm not, like, on my 600-pound life eating an entire pizza myself. But...
Yeah. But getting back to the addictive personalities in teenagers, this is the time when you're being shaped and molded. And if you come from a family that has addictive personalities, and you yourself has addictive personalities, to incorporate, binge drinking alcohol at 14, 16, 18 years old... That's just going to
and I've
be a
seen
bad
people
start.
Who are, like, have 2 OWIs and they're not even 21. And it's like, at that point, like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is, like, the one thing my dad has always said to me is that, don't be afraid to call me if you're in a situation where you're
drunk and need
he's
to ride
like,
home,
I won't ask questions. He's like, the next day,
then
we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But, I'd rather you be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing, too, was that, like, I remember one time I went to a party. Like, it was, like, a drinking party.
Mm-hmm.
But we stayed there. And my friend's mom had known that we were going.
See, to me, that's creepy, that friend's mom is like,
And the other time that I can recall drinking in high school was at a graduation party. So, like, there was family and whatever. And I wasn't drinking excessively. Like, I was having, like, a Mike's Hard or, something. And my dad knew that I was going. And he said, I know there's going to be alcohol there. He's like, make good choices if you do choose to have something or, like, you drink too much, call me.
Exactly.
Like, don't drive home. But, like, to me, that was a little bit different because it's like, okay, I'm going to a graduation party. There's obviously going to be alcohol
And plus,
there.
at that time, you're, like, 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both times I was 18. So, like, when my his mom knew I was 18, make good choices. If you need to, call me.
Yeah.
Type thing.
I think for me, my first run-in with alcohol, which was very short and whatever, my father used to drink PBR. And... I'm like, give me a sip. So he did. And I'm like, this is the most disgusting thing in the world. So I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to drink, because in high school, we lived up in Eagle River. Well, for part of my high school, the rest was Stevens Point. But, so we're out in the middle of nowhere. And that's where people would drink and stuff. And it's usually just like beer or gut rot, like Mad Dog or some crap. And no, that's disgusting. So I had like no desire to drink, I'm just like, I'm good.
I've never had Mad Dog.
Dear God.
And the funny part is one of my coworkers was telling me how she went someplace in Wausau and it was like a nicer place to
they had
eat.
Mad Dog?
They had Mad Dog on the menu.
Ew.
So one of her friends had ordered it because he's like, I have to. But it was like $18 or like something crazy.
You could buy like 5 bottles for $18.
It was like the nostalgia or whatever.
My God. What we're going to do in the summer, we're going to get a bottle or two of Mad Dog and we're going to sit outside and we're going to drink that. And then
make like Wapatui.
Yeah.
I've never had Wapatui. I remember my dad, like, one of my graduation gifts from, I think, my boyfriend's family at the time was, like, a duffel bag with a bunch of stuff that, like, I would need in a dorm room. So, like, a pitcher and, like, plastic. And my dad's like, oh, you're going to use this to make Wapatui. I'm like, what's Wapatui? And it was just, like, my dad looked at me and was like,
how can you not know this?
Yeah. And I was like, I genuinely don't know.
Fucking mixture of alcohol.
But the other thing with the alcohol that really made me nervous, and this ties in with the control, was that, like, to me, I'm not saying that it's an excuse or anything for it to happen, but to me it just creates the perfect environment for you to get
let loose. Oh no,
okay. Like to like get for like rape
and
those type of things that happen,
because
like
your inhibitions are lowered and you're not thinking and
right, or to do something you're gonna regret. Like to me it's like one thing, like if Josh and I are with you and Spiros and like a couple other friends, like, on New Year's or something.
We're not going to rape you, so
right.
You're fine.
But to be like at a college dorm with a bunch of people that you don't really know very well, or to be like at a frat party or like a high school party where there's just a ton of, like, to me, that's just like the perfect environment for something to go fucking bad. And like you said, no one is developed enough to like.
Although rape is never something that should ever be done.
And I'm not saying.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying like. Every bad thing is rape, but I'm saying, like, if anything bad happens, everyone
is not in control.
Yeah, you're not in control, and no one there is A, probably sober enough to make a good decision, and B, like, if someone were to get really hurt,
your reaction time, what is that going to be?
Yeah, like, you're already young and stupid. You don't need to add alcohol and make you stupider. Like, if two friends are like at one of their houses and they have some like Mike's Hard, okay, I don't really fucking care about that. It's like the big like
parties.
Yeah. And the binge drinking and yeah.
I for my 21st birthday, that was like 4 days of debauchery. That is a story for like a personal story. I'm not sharing over the airwaves. My friend Sepesto, he is diabetic, and
such an interesting name.
Sepesto, yeah. I believe it was his 21st birthday. He drank so much he got alcohol poisoning.
Which is probably even easier being a diabetic.
Exactly. And I mean, that's scary because, that happens, a lot. And then, you know, you go out with 10 friends and they're all fucking drunk, and
then it's like that they're young. Are they gonna actually
try to hide it?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like, I know what you did last summer? Somebody's gonna die. You're gonna throw them in the water, and you know, you get haunted 10 years later.
I've not seen that, but
all right, another one to add to the list.
I've heard about
it. And there's like, isn't there like 3 or 4? And I think it was originally a book, like by.
I think I had the book.
Lois Lowry or something.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. All right, someday we'll watch that.
Yeah.
So
as far as the movie,
back 12 minutes ago when we started this tirade, I agree with you. I give it a 3. I wouldn't watch it again. I'd say if you want to watch it, make sure it's free on Netflix or you get it from the library. You know, don't purchase this.
You're paying $1.
Yeah, something.
Like, it's good for like a one watch, and even then, like if you're looking for something that's like gonna totally like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if it's gonna be totally engaging and like you're gonna be involved in, like where you said like with Scream, like you were just so like, blown away. God, you're not really given that.
No, and which sucks because Octavia Spencer, I mean, she's a great actress, so I'm sad that it didn't do so good.
Like thing that I guess had me really what the fuck, and it wasn't like a scary what the fuck was the dog blood.
Oh yeah, and the guy at the end giving a transfusion. Yeah, that was. She was cracked at that point.
Yeah, like
what made me sad about it though was the violence to the dog. I'm like, no.
Yeah, like the whole time Kim's like, oh my God, if they stab them, that's fine, but I can't
handle not with the dog, not with the animals. Don't hurt the animals. I'm like, animals don't ask for that.
Well, and animals
are wonderful, and humans are not always wonderful.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, but just don't kill them in movies, people, or abuse them in life. Just don't do that. Yeah. It's like when
that's like what I always like I tell my husband all the time, because like we don't have like I have a stepdaughter, but we don't have children. And like my dream, I'm like, you know what would be like my ideal dream? He's like, what? I'm like, buy a house, have some land, and like rescue
everywhere.
Dogs. Just dogs. Like just rescue all kinds of dogs. Little dogs.
Big dogs.
Probably mainly little dogs because their poop's smaller. Or I could get big dogs and teach them to poop in the woods. But just like all kinds of dogs. And like, I like cats. But cats are kind of hard with dogs. The cat I have right now is pretty awesome. So like, I feel like he's going to be hard to top.
And with cats, as much as I love them, and we just got a new kitty. Yeah, we haven't named her yet. But
Lucinda.
It might be Lucinda. Lucy for short. But cats, honestly, I could never see having a house full of cats or a farm full of cats, because cats are very, very territorial. I mean, dogs can be too, but I mean, once you get a pack leader, it's easier. Yeah. Cats, there is no pack leader. They're all territorial in and of themselves, and cats are.
They stink. If you don't take care of them, like
it's
don't
disgusting.
Get me wrong. Like I have little dogs, so they're trained with puppy pads. Yeah, puppy pads. So, because they obviously can't go, they need to go. They can't just be in a kennel for 8 hours or whatever. And we still have accidents because we have 3 boys, but those don't smell as bad as cat piss.
They're cleaned up, as long as you get to them right away. It's good. Cat piss, cat spraying, dear God,
or if it's like on fabric.
Yeah, you just throw that shit away.
Yeah, you can't really wash it out. Like we have blankets that our dogs love, and it always fucking happens where someone's wrapped in it and jumps out. And so like just the tail of the blanket hangs on the couch. And one of the boys is like, oh, and just does like a little squeege on it. And we can wash it and it's fine. But cats, no.
And especially like rugs.
Or you have to wash it a lot.
Yeah. And like air it out and like, yeah. And it's bad because when we first moved to this house, we tore up some flooring because people kept dogs in the rooms. And I mean, the flooring was so bad, it was moldy and it was disgusting. And we just could not get the smell out. And I was leery about the cats, peeing and spraying. And they didn't in that regard. But we have 3 levels, the top, main floor, and then the basement. And Lulu, in one of the rooms upstairs, I had a beautiful rug on the floor and she peed on it. And she's never peed on anything before. And I'm like, God damn it, no. So we ended up throwing this rug away. It was like a brand new rug. I mean, it wasn't super expensive, but it was like, $150. But what was happening is Brewster, our other cat, is a lot more territorial and a bitchy kitty. And I think he was not letting Lulu down to the basement to go to the bathroom. He was stopping her. So she peed upstairs. So now we have 3 cat litters upstairs in one of the rooms that we don't use that often. Thank goodness. But it stinks. We clean the cat litter every day. There's cat litter on the floor all the time. And I'm like, God damn you, Brewster. God damn you, Lulu. Because of you two, we're going to have this like probably forever now. We can't just stick it in the basement and
leave it. Yeah,
exactly. So as much as I love cats, they're little shits. All right. So that was a super long for Ma, but
yeah,
hopefully we
watch
entertained
it
you. Yeah.
one time. But it's probably not going to be one you'll add to your movie collection if you have one anymore.
All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Bye.
Bye.